Hi guys.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. This is Shelf Life. I'm Val.
I'm Leah.
And today we read Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury.
Mm-hmm.
Bradbury?
I say Bradbury.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hope that you had a great holiday season.
Yes.
It's been a whole 2 weeks of not releasing the pod, so thanks for bearing with us.
I feel so wildly out of routine, out of habit.
Uh-huh.
I meant to reread this book, and then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, it's Monday. Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, we're out of focus.
Sorry guys, the camera's really struggling today.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Good?
Well, speaking of the year being almost over, this comes out on the 2nd of New Year. So happy 2026, everybody.
2026.
I would love to know. I know I usually ask a goofy question. And I was listening to a podcast today and they asked a really good question. What is your biggest takeaway from 2025?
My biggest takeaway.
Or even like a goal that you completed or something. Like, I don't know if you set like New Year's goals. You seem like the person to set New Year's goals.
I always do, but then I feel like I don't stick to them. I'm going to be so for real. Yeah, like I write down, I'm very ambitious, but then life gets so busy. But I feel like I did accomplish a lot this last year. I'm very grateful for that. But I feel like one big takeaway is just, this was definitely a year of discovery and figuring out like who I am and what life is and being okay with the fact that we're all on our own timelines and life really does move so fast. And I don't know, I feel like I've found a lot of people who are also in that same mindset, and I feel like those are the best friends to have, because we understand that life is busy and we're all trying to do our own things and whatever. But yeah, I learned to be okay with where I'm at and to enjoy the process, because later on in life, I'm going to look back and I'm going to miss this so bad. So
Good answer.
Yes.
That's a good one.
And what is your biggest takeaway or goal? Anything that you want to share?
I'm a huge goal setting. I love New Year's. I love a little reset. And I feel like I don't remember distinctly what all of my goals were, but I do remember one of my goals specifically for this summer, but like just kind of in this year in general. And I feel like I totally stuck to it. I just wanted to like say yes and just like, I was like, what did I call it? I don't remember. I had a name for this summer. It was so stupid. But I was just like, I want to make memories. I want to say yes. I feel like I spent a lot of my college time not really like putting myself out there and like making memories and whatever. And I just feel like I really did. Like I met so many new people. I experienced so many new things. And I'm just like there was a lot that happened in my life that wouldn't have had I said no like I usually do. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, look at me. I didn't stay home every night of the year. Yeah. Did I make some terrible decisions? Absolutely. Well, but that's okay because I also made some great ones.
It was your side quest summer.
Side quest summer. That's what it was called.
I was trying so hard to think of it.
I'm like, I know I had a name.
Yes. It rolled right off the tongue. That's
Side quest summer.
But I'm really happy for you. I'm glad that you did that, and
I'm happy for you too.
Yeah, thank you.
Such a fun year.
Yes.
Such a terrible, awful fun year.
Here's to 2026 and everything that is in store for us.
Yes, I hope it's terrible and awful and super fun. Don't put that out in the world. I take it back. Oh man.
Val and I are very scared though for Wednesday. This is going to be released Friday, okay? So it's going to be 2 days after the fact. But we are very big Stranger Things girls, okay? And we've been really elaborating what we think is going to happen. And we're really scared that Steve is going to die.
We are. So, Steve, if we're talking to you in the afterlife...
Rest in peace, man. We miss you.
I know. don't accept it.
Yeah. It's gonna be brutal, and I don't know what to expect. But Val and I plan on watching it before we go out Wednesday. So we're gonna be really sad. We're gonna be going into the new year holding all of that negative energy, and we're gonna have to like shake it out.
If you see me downtown and I'm dancing and crying at the same time,
Just
don't
know-
ask why. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yes, also we're probably going to do a like little prediction. I don't want to give too much away, but keep tabs on our Instagram.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you look so confused that this was your idea.
It took a minute.
But yes, just keep it on our Instagram because we're gonna be posting Stranger Things stuff, and I know
Yes.
for a fact that everyone listening loves Stranger Things. I know it for a fact.
Yep. Val's intuitive like that. But yeah. So anyways, you'll have to let us know. You'll have to drop comments on the Instagram post. Let us know what you think about the finale, and if you end up just as heartbroken as we're going to be.
As we're not going to be.
I feel like
Steve
regardless,
is not going to
even
die.
if Steve doesn't die, we're gonna be heartbroken. Somebody is gonna die.
Ideally, it's all of the side characters that I don't care. Ideally, it's Murray and 5 other people that I don't like.
I don't know, man. I've been seeing a lot of TikToks of them, like, how all of the cast is, like, sobbing during just the screen reading.
That's what, like, I hate that they're giving so much away. I wish there was a
Yeah.
little bit more left up, because it's like, we know that it's going to be a huge pivotal episode.
Yeah.
Why are we giving so much away? We don't need to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's keeping me on the edge of my seat, man. I'm not ready, but it's in 2 days, so.
I also kind of don't like that they released, like, a death count, because
Yeah.
I feel like the whole time that I'm like, that's one.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain for who it could be. Oh,
I have a lot of
scared.
gripes about this season, but I'm trying really hard to just not and to just enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, we will make sure to give you all of our thoughts after the fact for next week's episode. And we might even cry a little bit more, depending on what happens. So, yeah. Do you think it's time to get into it?
Yes.
All right. I almost dropped my mic.
Well, most of you probably remember reading this book in high school English class.
I actually never read this book in high school English
I
class.
also never read this book in high school English class.
So what are you talking about?
This is a super common high school English class.
It is. Okay, in my English literature class, our teacher let us pick which books we wanted to read.
That's so kind.
Yeah, and then it was like a couple people, I don't know, she did it really weird because it was also coming out of COVID. But yeah, so we all kind of read whatever books we wanted. I think I read The Great Gatsby.
Great book.
Yeah, it was really good. And Of Mice and Men.
Watch the movie.
You gotta read the book. I can't remember. Maybe that was the only two. I feel like there was another one. I think we did like Romeo and Juliet, the play, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't ever remember reading this. I do remember hearing about it and like knowing that it was like a must read and a classic book. But yeah, what ones did you read in English lit?
We sort of read the Great Gatsby. Sort of. We like had 2 weeks left of school, and instead of having us read it, she printed out the pages. Like, she printed out every chapter, even though we all had a copy of the book.
That's so stupid.
Whatever.
I remember us talking about this a different time.
Yeah, I'm like, why are we wasting so much paper? You
Yeah.
already gave us the book. Like, what? The one that I remember very not fondly is the Iliad. I want to chuck that book out a window. I hate it.
That sounds so familiar. I feel like we also did read parts of that.
It's the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Is the sequel?
Something. It's connected somehow. I do remember that.
Homer needs to not ever write a book ever again, even though he's been dead for like a million years.
Yeah.
I hate the Iliad. I hate it.
I'm going to have to read it again just so I can understand why.
I don't remember what else we read. I think It's up there somewhere. I don't know. We read a lot. Doesn't matter. Neither one of us read this book, so we read it now. I actually read it for college. I read it as an extra credit book in my English class, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Well, I read it this last week, so it's very fresh in my brain.
And not so fresh in mine.
Don't worry. We had a little debrief before we started filming.
I'll give you a tiny summary. Basically, this takes place in like a futuristic-y type world. When was this written?
Can't remember. Is it in the inside of the book? In that second page, the copyright? Normally it says it.
1951?
Yeah, it looks right.
1951.
Well,
I would assume futuristic-y is probably... Do you think this took place in like what he was like, anticipating like the 2000s? Or do you think it was even further in the future?
maybe like 2050.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, it takes place in the future. It's like a very dystopian type book. Basically, books are banned. Knowledge is banned. Everybody is very focused on just like being consumed by like by media and by technology all the time, but like books are not one of those media that they're consumed by. And they actually have like fire departments that go around and burn people's houses, and you get sent. Do they kill them or do they get sent to jail? They get sent to jail, right?
Most of the time they're arrested, yeah. But sometimes they burn alive. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so books are illegal, and we have our main character. His name is Guy Montag.
Montag. That's how I've been saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He works for the fire department, but as many of you are probably not surprised, he's like, maybe books aren't so bad. And then he gets into some trouble.
Yeah. He sure does.
That's our summary.
I feel like that's the best we can do without spoiling things. Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts?
This book, it reminds me of something else, and I really cannot think of it right now, but...
It reminds me of Matched.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
Well, okay, part of the reason why they got rid of these books is basically just to, like, get rid of all culture and, like... Is that how Matched is? Is that what I'm thinking of?
No.
Okay. It's something else. Maybe it'll come to my brain. Maybe it won't.
Wait, is it? No.
There was another book that was based on this premise of, like, all religion and, like, all differences were basically squashed and everybody was considered one. Like, they refused to accept any differences.
I mean, like, Hitler. Like, it reminded me a lot of the book Thief.
Yes, that is it. That's it. Yeah. I knew there was something. Thank you for that. Well, anyways, yeah, this book really reminds me of the book Thief just because, like, they squashed all books to rid basically all differences, and, like, even the Bible was one of the banned books, and any type of, like, religious piece. And obviously in the book Thief, we saw a lot of, like, book burning and just, like, the destruction of all books. So there were a lot of parallels with that. But yeah, so I don't know. I was confused at first, because the whole, like, first 8 pages, it talks, like, it's describing him and his job, him being Guy Montag, and, like, his job being a firefighter. But then, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking he's putting the fires out, but then it's not lining up with what the book is saying. And it doesn't actually express that, like, it's the opposite until probably 15, 20 pages into the book. And yeah, there's a lot of, like, futuristic things that take place that you don't fully grasp until towards, like, the middle of the book, or at least that's how it was for me. Yeah, like, I didn't understand really what the TVs in the living room, like, why that was such a big deal, and especially with, like, the Hound and it being robotic. And I'm giving you little bits and pieces, okay? But, like, yeah, either way, I think I gave it a 4, I believe. It was a good book. There wasn't much of an ending, but I guess that's okay in this context. Yeah. How did you enjoy it? Do you have to double
I
check?
remember really liking it. This was actually a book I remember annotating. Like, I liked this book.
Really? Okay.
I also gave it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I don't know. There is something I love about like a classic novel. I just like there's something I'm like it's so comforting and it's such a shorty little read. And I also I feel like it's like just a good kind of reminder for our society today. Like, I mean, obviously we'll talk about the book a little more in depth as we always do.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it does a good job of like reminding people that being constantly you said a good constantly stimulated
Yes.
by something isn't necessarily a good thing. And like I even think about that in myself, like how often am I doing something where I don't have a TV going or my phone on or music playing? Like I don't feel like it's often where I'm just sitting.
Yeah.
And or even a book, like even to sit and read a book, it's like you're still constantly consuming things. And I feel like this book just does, it's like a good reflection of, I think, like his fears of the future and like technology kind of taking over. And also low-key a little reflective on like AI even.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're kind of entering a weird time where people don't, I'm guilty of it too, but like people don't understand how to like think critically. And AI is kind of a scary thing that especially in schools and stuff it's so easy to use and it's so easy to just kind of like steal creativity and I don't know. It's just I think it's an interesting critique on us people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That was so long. I'll get off my soapbox now.
But everything you said is so valid, and I was really thinking about that a lot too. And knowing that this was written now in 1950, isn't it crazy to think about how like accurate he kind of was?
Right? Like he really like it feels the way he thinks about the future isn't like, oh, it's all accurate, but like in a general sense it is. It's very interesting.
Yes. And like I don't know. I feel like as a society, we really are so addicted to consuming digital media and being just constantly on our phones. And I guess in this book, it wasn't really a whole lot about like being on your phones rather than like all the other stimuli that you could consume. But yeah, like you're never really able to just sit and think and like read or develop those critical thinking skills. And yeah, I'm curious to see where the next 10 years are going to lead and how technology is going to be reshaped with AI and advances in technology with robotics and all that type of stuff. Yeah. We'll have to revisit in 10 years and talk about it again, I guess. Even like there's been studies that show that our brains are like not decaying, but our like growth is being inhibited almost. Like our brains are not functioning how they should anymore because we've rewired them to like constantly need that stimulus and to only have 3-second attention spans. Like we can't sit and just do nothing because we go crazy. And yeah, there was like I saw some kind of study with this man. He gave up like technology or like being on his phone. He had like a flip phone, I think still. But he gave up social media for like 10 years and it showed like a significant improvement in his brain's capacity to like function and think critically and like do all of this stuff.
I'm sure. Oh my gosh.
So to think about how like even subconsciously how we use our phones all the time and like how that really is impacting our development and how much smarter we really could be if we didn't have the damn phones.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. 20 minutes into this episode and we haven't even talked about the book yet. But that's okay because this is all relevant and it's a good conversation to have.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Book.
Yeah. Back to the book, I guess.
Unless that's not the route you were going.
No. I was just gonna say check your screen time and like, dude, go out and live. Oh my God, wait, I just saw this thing. Sorry, we're back in a tangent a little bit.
That's okay.
But I just saw this thing about how like on average, if you live to 90 years old, like, you know, you only have a certain amount of months. And we spend like a good chunk of that sleeping, good chunk of that eating, and, you know, going to school and doing all the things we're supposed to do. And then we really only have like a fraction of time left after all of that. But the average person is set to spend like 90% of their remaining months on their phone.
That's insane.
90%.
So yeah, we both have Opal, and I highly recommend it. I actually just recently rechanged my screen limits, but when I joined, based off like what I said, it said I was on track to spend 32 years of my life on my phone.
That's insane.
It says this week I claimed back only 8 of them. Hey, but that's still a lot of years. That's a child right there.
Okay, it says when it's a child.
That's a child.
Okay,
God.
it says when I joined Opal, I was on track to spend 18 years looking at my phone.
Crap.
And that based on my average screen time of 4 hours last week, I claimed back a year.
Okay, but you're spending 17 years of your life. I'm spending 26.
Yeah.
That's better.
I don't know. It's just, it's crazy though how dependent we are, and like, especially with job, like my job now requires me to be more on my phone with like editing videos and
24.
I wasn't gonna. I was just gonna let it go. I didn't even think to do the math. I just trusted you. That's the last time I'll do that.
Can't even do 8 minutes. 8. Whatever. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Anyways, basically, moral of this is check your screen time, people. You could be spending like a fucking fourth of your life just on your phone, and I think that's so depressing. Mm-hmm. There is so much more to life than a screen. Mm-hmm. Like, get out and breathe air.
Go touch grass.
Go hug a tree. Anyways, back to the book. So, getting into more spoilers of this book. Basically, you can, as we've talked about, technology and being constantly stimulated is like just something that's so prevalent in this society, in this book. And Montag's wife, her name is Mildred, they don't really have a relationship, like, at all. Like, they're strangers to each other. Also, the book opens with her, like, trying to kill herself. Sorry, should have given you a trigger warning. But she, like, overdosed on sleeping pills, and Montag came home from work and basically had to call these people in, and they, like, flushed her body of everything. And then when she woke up in the morning, she did not know what happened at all. Like, she acted like it didn't happen, and they didn't talk about it at all. And yeah.
And it had happened before, right?
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, so like clearly she deals with depression and like thoughts of suicide. But she spends most of her time like on screens and just there's like an earpiece or like a headset type of thing that you can wear. I forget what they call it. But it's like constantly playing music or like other sounds, and it's like connected to their TVs, and you can like, it's almost, I was reminded of like FaceTime with your family. Basically like you can get these walls installed in your home. They call it the first wall, second wall, third wall, fourth wall. And it's just massive screens, and they have like 3 walls in their home, and she just spends all of her time in the living room with these walls talking to her family. And yeah, so she's just always stimulated. They never actually have conversations. It's just not good. And then he ends up running into a neighbor. Her name is Clarice. She's like 17, I believe. And she's just kind of hanging out at night when he's coming home from work one night. And then she starts asking him questions about life and the world that he's never thought about before. Like even looking at the moon. Or like just thinking critically about life and what's around them. And it really makes Montag start to think for himself as well.
Yeah. So Montag works for the fire department. So his job obviously is to show up to houses when they get calls about people who have books, and they literally burn their houses down. However, the more that he talks with Clarice, and I think there's obviously something in him too that, like, you know, disagrees with like what he's doing and whatever. He eventually starts collecting books from the fires that, like, from the places that he goes to burn, and he keeps them just like hiding in his home. Were they in the wall?
They were in the vent. In the air vent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, he hides these books and just is kind of like having like a little bit of a midlife crisis because he doesn't understand and like agree with what's going on. Clarice ends up dying very early on, and they basically say that she gets hit by a car and is killed that way. However, I think she knew too much. I think she was too intuitive, and they killed her. But that's up for debate. Anyways, that's kind of like one of the last straws for Montag.
And the woman in the house.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a woman who ended up lighting herself on fire because she was like, "You're not gonna take my books, like they're my books." So she lights herself on fire and chooses to end her life that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just having a really hard time with it, and so he ends up going and seeing a professor that he had so he sees this professor, and they kind of end up talking about how they're like, wow, we really disagree with everything that's going on. And do they make a plan to leave? I'm gonna let you take over for this part. I don't remember quite what happens in this conversation.
Okay. So the professor's name is Faber. And basically he's this old man, like he knows that, you know, life is just not on a good track, and he's been having these thoughts for a long time. And he's like been building kind of his own technology for a little bit. He like had built this earpiece, but he never actually knew if he was going to use it or not. But they had this conversation about how like there are ways to kind of start a rebellion, and kind of like how to do it. They considered putting books in other firemen's homes and then blowing the whistle on them, so then other firemen would have to like have their houses burned down, so then maybe other firemen would wake up to like what's wrong with the world. But then Faber had told him that he couldn't start that yet. Basically, I believe Montag brought a book with him to Faber's home. I think it might have been the Bible, but I could be
ballsy.
I could be wrong. But I think he brought a book there. And then Faber had talked about how he wanted to start printing more. So he asked Montag to like take out money from his bank account, or like bring him however much money so they could get started on like doing that part of the process.
Seems like such a scam.
Yeah. Yeah. But because Faber didn't have money for it, I guess. But yeah, so somehow that was going to get kickstarted. They were basically just trying to print more books and like do that stuff. But I think the plan really was to like start putting books in firemen's homes. And yeah, but then basically Faber gives him this earpiece that he had made, and he can hear everything that Montag hears, and he can talk to Montag through that as well to tell him like what to say. So Montag ends up getting home that night, and his wife has over two of their friends, and there's like wars constantly going on in this realm as well. And I don't know, bombs are dropped, and the wars are ended in like 24 hours. Like, there were like fast wars, I guess. So these women are talking about how their husbands have been in the wars and they're just like not grateful at all for their husband's service to the country and like them dying, and they're just like so they're so caught up in this world and they don't think about any of the problems that are actually going on, and it just drives Montag crazy. So he has
and low key, I would wonder that like the information that they're probably being fed isn't true.
Yeah,
It's probably also supposed to be like mirroring like propaganda.
Mm-hmm. That would make sense.
This book probably is like a reflection on World War II, actually, now that I think about it.
I mean, yeah, around that era. Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, I'm sure like they're just being fed because they're, you know, they're taking all these books, they're telling them not to think critically, and then they're like, oh, there's all these wars going on.
Yep.
And essentially feeding them the information that they want them to know.
Yeah. Oh, that
Anyways,
makes so much sense.
Dinner party, sorry.
You're good. Yeah, basically, and they weren't having a dinner party. They were like watching a show in the living room on these big TVs. Yeah. But Montag brings out like this poetry book, and
yeah, he like flips a lid.
yeah, he literally does. And meanwhile, Faber is in his ear telling him to not do this. Like, you're making a mistake. But Montag does not listen to him. He starts reciting this poetry from this book, and then Faber tells him that he needs to like incinerate the book because they have incinerators in their home as well. Mm-hmm. So he puts the book in there, but you know, he had already revealed to Mildred that he had all those other books. The other women didn't know about that, but there was like there was also some kind of like side thing going on because his captain actually knew that he took one of the books from the previous fire. So then Mildred tried saying that that was the book that he was allowed to take, but they have to bring it back within like 24 hours, I guess, of taking it. I don't know. So basically Montag like returns to work the next day, and do you want to take over from here?
Sure.
Okay.
Basically, gist of the dinner party is that he goes to work, but Mildred decides to basically rat him out. And he gets a call, and he has to go, you know, burn a house, and he shows up, and it's his house. Mm-hmm. And Mildred is there. She's like, I'm booking it. I'm gonna go visit my family that I'm always watching on the TVs. Like, I'm done with you. Goodbye. And he never sees her again.
Yeah.
And so instead of burning his house, do they burn the house?
I think the house
starts to burn?
Yeah, because they make him. That's the reason he has the flamethrower, because they made him torch
I just thought
his house.
He didn't do it yet, but I guess he did.
I think he had started, and then maybe I thought so.
Anyways, he ends up killing his captain because his captain is like, I know that you've been stealing books. Like, I know that like your wife called you in. Like, there's more to you than like I don't trust you, sort of thing. And while he's burning the house,
he also, a big reason why he killed him was Montag. Meanwhile, you know, Faber was in his ear telling him what to say and like how to deal with this situation. And he had made a motion of like, you know, he was listening to something, and he turned his head and his captain saw the earpiece. So then he like ripped that out of his ear, and he was like, what is this? I'm gonna find whoever is like, you know, behind this. And then, yeah, so he gets flamed.
Killed the captain.
Yeah.
Honestly, like for the rest of the book, a good chunk of the book, he spends a lot of time running.
Yep. Yeah.
So he ends up running to Faber's house. He's like, I'm in trouble, man. Like, we need to figure this out. There are these hounds that are like, they're like robotic, but they're like, essentially they're trained to smell him out and chase him down and kill him. So he is like, I gotta get away from these hounds. So he shows up at Faber's house. Faber, he gives him like new clothes. He like kind of washes his scent, like does everything that he can. And then he also gives him directions to get out of the city. Is that pretty much all that happens at Faber's house? So I read this book like 2 years ago, you guys. It's all foggy.
Yeah, no, not a whole lot happens. He just kind of directs him which way to go. They're like watching the live broadcast of the chase.
Yes, this is all being broadcasted on
Yeah.
TV, so
Yeah.
everybody can see. So everybody thinks that he's like a bad guy, and they're all
Yes.
like, "Number one enemy, man. Go get him."
Yeah. But yeah, Montag is like running for his life through alleys, through these towns. He's trying to make it to the river, because once he can make it to the river, he'll be able to like squash his scent. And he can like, he stops and he watches the broadcast on people's TVs through their living room window. So he knows like where the hound is at and like how far behind him it's at and whatever. And hold on. Okay. And at one point, the government or whoever was behind this was basically like, he's in this neighborhood. In 10 seconds, you all need to open your doors and windows and look and see if he's there. So then Montag is like freaking out. You know, he's trying to get through this town so he doesn't get found out. And then, yeah, everybody looks out their windows, doors, and Montag just made it through. He also almost gets hit by a car as well. And I don't know, he survived, so it was fine. But then he eventually makes it to the river. The hound loses his scent, and whatever, they actually start going the opposite way, but Montag is like floating downstream, and then he finds the railroad tracks and walks to find this fire with basically like scientists and old professors from like Harvard and other Ivy League schools, and they tell him that like, yep, we basically are doing the same thing as you are. And
they're trying to like restart kind of a society separate from the one that they used to live in, that they were kind of like banned and shunned from because they obviously didn't want to go to jail. So yeah, that's why Faber had like directed him to these people, because he's like, there are people out there, you just need to find them.
yes,
Which is also why I think that the whole like the bombing and everything, like a lot of the war is propaganda, because they're likely trying to bomb these groups of people, which they're lying about who they are and whatever. So.
but yeah, they.
Oh, one other thing.
Yeah.
Did you? Sorry.
You go.
No. They ended up. How does he find this out? That they ended up. They killed an innocent person. Like the government kills an innocent person and uses it as like a decoy body, basically. And they're like, "Don't worry, everybody. We found Montag," but they obviously didn't.
Yes. So the scientists people, they actually have like a screen that can't be tracked or something. So they had been watching this live broadcast the whole time while Montag was running, so they knew who he was when he was approaching them. But yeah, then they were like, this is what the broadcast is right now, like this is where they're at. In 5 seconds they're gonna like end this, because it can't keep going on for too much longer, basically to keep the people scared, you know. And yeah, so then they were right. There was a random man that was like turning the corner, and he, I guess, fit the profile of Montag, and then the hound got him. Yeah. And then shortly after this, actually there are like jet planes that fly overhead. Well, wait, before we get to that, the scientists and professors, whatever, those people, they tell him that they've been like memorizing books and that there are other people like them, and basically like each person has a different part of a book memorized, or I think it's like different parts of multiple books. So their hope is that they can rewrite the books eventually. And yeah, then after that, the jet planes fly overhead and bombs are dropped on the town. I forgot that happened.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, like then that's the very end. That's the conclusion. Because then Montag is like, oh, Mildred, oh, Faber. He doesn't know if they're like alive or anything.
Why did they do that?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, so the whole town was bombed.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, popped in my brain when we were talking about it more. Yeah, So quite an ending.
Yes, Fahrenheit 451 is heavily influenced by World War II and its
That
aftermath.
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. I honestly, it's after reading the book Thief that I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, making that connection.
Which is so funny because the first time I read this book, I was like, I thought book burnings were, I didn't quite understand that they like actually were a thing that had happened.
Yeah.
And I also didn't understand what's the point? That doesn't make any sense, but obviously, I mean, it does make sense. I was just being,
Yeah.
I wasn't using my critical thinking.
The damn phones. I was making the connection that the firemen are soldiers, essentially. Yeah. God, I can't believe I didn't make that connection sooner.
I didn't make it the first time I read it either.
Yeah. See, this is why we talk about books, so we can uncover the truth. Yeah. But overall, it was good. I liked it. Yeah. There's a lot to it.
There is, and yeah, I don't feel like, I know we usually do kind of more like commentary on the end here, but I do feel like we kind of analyzed a lot as we were going.
Yeah.
So I don't really have more to say.
No. I feel like this is also one of those books where like you can really get into analysis of it, and I just don't have it in me right now.
I'm sure there was a meaning of the color shirt that Montauk was wearing, and if I was a high school English teacher right now, I would be
the color of shirt.
But yes, that was Fahrenheit 451. Do you have anything else you'd like to add about the book?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Well, thank you guys all so much for listening. This one was kind of a long one today, which is
was
so funny because our book was short.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good 40-minute episode. So thank you for listening.
But yes, thank you guys so much for listening. Follow us.
Thank you.
Spotify,
Instagram.
YouTube, Instagram, pretty please.
Yes.
Like, rate, comment, all of the things.
Engage. And keep an eye out for that Stranger Things video or content.
Let us know your guys' thoughts on it, because we
Please.
would love to just gab more about it.
Yep.
We're obsessed.
Yep. We'd love to gab.
Yep.
Okay. Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.